Hi, I'm Dr. David Geyer, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist, and I provide commentary and education on all sorts of sports and exercise injuries and injury treatments and injury prevention for athletes and active people, probably much like yourself, so that you can stay healthy and perform your best. I don't know how it was when you were younger. Let's assume at least you're an adult watching this. When you played sports, I don't know how it was for you, but I played all sorts of sports. It really depended on what season it was. In the spring I might play competitive soccer. In the summer I swam on swim teams. In the fall I played basketball, and I played all sorts of other sports. I played flag football. I played I played baseball for a little while and t-ball when I was a young kid. I played all sorts of different sports, but they varied throughout the season. And I think a lot of my friends, at least, it was that way when they were kids. Let's face it, it's not really that way much anymore. One of the most, I would argue, disturbing trends that we've really seen in this last 10 to 15 years has been this trend for what we call earlier and earlier single sport specialization. And what that basically means is that kids at a young age, it could be 7, 8 years old, maybe certainly 9 or 10 years old, their parents push them to just play one sport and play that sport throughout the year rather than switching up the sports as the season changed. And so, it could be a kid that's 7 or 8 years old that all he does is pitch in baseball every single season. And I really think that that's a bad thing. The argument's pretty simple of why parents and coaches should have their kids do this. And believe me, coaches, a lot of coaches at least, push parents to have their kids do that, and a lot of parents want their kids to do that. But the argument's pretty simple. That basically the thought is, the more, it gets back to that whole Malcolm Gladwell's, even though this isn't his rule, was it Anders Ericsson, but Malcolm Gladwell wrote about it, the 10,000 hour rule. Basically, you put 10,000 hours at something and you can become a mastery. In youth sports, the argument is, if you do something over and over again throughout the year, you're going to be better at that particular activity than some kid that does lots of different sports that involve different athletic skills and different movements. But the problem with that argument is it increases that child's risk of getting hurt. It's got some other risks we'll talk about too, but from an injury standpoint, the problem is very simple. Let's take that 8-year-old kid that all he does is pitch baseball. So he's throwing over and over again, all that stress on his shoulder or on his elbow. Basically for any one game or any one week or any month or even a season, you have time to recover from that stress. But when you do it for one season and then 2 seasons and then 3 and 4 with no breaks at all, no prolonged period of time, that leads to those microscopic stress can lead to real injuries, anywhere from bone injuries, ligament and tendon injuries, things that normally would have healed very quickly can become very, very serious injuries if they never take any time off. So what we should do instead is encourage kids to play different sports. Let's take our baseball pitcher again. Let's say he does that for one season, but then the next season, let's let his shoulder rest and his elbow rest. So maybe he plays soccer, which is a running sport. So now he's stressing his ankle and his knee and his foot, but his shoulder and elbow are largely resting. So he's getting physical activity, he's learning a lot of new skills, but he's giving his shoulder and his elbow time to rest. And I would argue that he's also going to learn skills, learn moves that will help him be a better athlete. I talked to Brandi Chastain a few months ago for the book that I've been writing, and we were talking about something else entirely, but she pointed out that her 1999 Women's World Cup team, the U.S. Women's National Team, she thought that every single player on that team played multiple sports growing up. She played 3 or 4 sports. She didn't decide to play only soccer until her senior year in high school. Now, the other benefit is if you only play one sport at 7 or 8 years old, you probably haven't played enough sports to know that that one sport is what you really like to do. So by trying different sports, changing throughout the season, kid's going to find out what he likes and what he doesn't like. Then when he gets older and decides, hey, that's what I like to do, he can play only that sport. His body will mature enough that it now can handle stresses throughout the year. He'll have the muscle strength, the bony strength as he got bigger and stronger, but then that stress will be much less harmful, but he will have picked the sport that he really likes. Okay, what do you think? This is controversial. I'm not going to deny that. There's a lot of parents and coaches that completely disagree with this. But what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So below this video, share them, positive or negative. Do you think kids should play different sports growing up, or should they focus on one sport and one sport only? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave your comments below this video. And if you know parents that have kids that play sports at a young age, or maybe they coach youth sports, I'd love for you to share this video with them, because I would love to hear other people's perspectives, and I bet you would too. Hear from people all over the country, all over the world about this. If you like videos like this and you want more information on injuries, injury treatments, injury prevention in sports and exercise, subscribe to my video channel. I record a couple of these videos every single week, and I'd love to deliver those directly to you. And finally, there's so many resources on ways to stay healthy and perform your best that I only share by email. So go to my website, drdavidgeyer.com, enter your name and your email address. They're completely free, and I'll deliver those on a regular basis directly to you. Thank you so much for watching. I think this is a really important topic. So again, comment below this video, share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you right here next time.